Hey guys, welcome back to Analytics with Priyam. So in this video, I'm back with another exciting project that is related to meta ad performance dashboard. Okay, so as usual, our data reside in SQL Server and we have to import it into our Fabric Lakehouse with the help of our Dataflows Gen2. Okay, in Dataflows Gen2, we are going to add one calendar table also and with the help of a M query. Okay, I will provide this M query into our description so that you can also copy and replicate the same. So once all the tables are loaded into our Dataflows Gen2, we are going to create some of the calculated columns in Dataflows Gen2 only. And after then, we are going to set the destination to our lakehouse. So once our tables are loaded into our lakehouse, we are going to create a semantic model. So basically in semantic model, we are having two fact tables. So we are going to create a snowflake schema. We are going to identify which one is our fact table and which one is our dimension table. So we are going to create a relationship with the help of a cardinalities. Okay. And all the measures we are going to create in semantic model only. And after then we are going to import this semantic model in our Power BI report and we are going to create a fresh report. Once our report is ready, we are going to publish it into our workspace and after then we are going to create a data pipeline in which we are going to put the data flows and the semantic model for to the schedule refresh. Once the data is incremented, the data pipeline will run and it will refresh the data flows and the semantic model. So in the Power BI report, we will get the most up-to-date data. Okay, so you can see the dashboard which I have created. So please stay connected to this video. Back to screen. So first of all, let me go back to our SQL Server because our data reside in SQL Server and we are having a database called as ad performance and in which we are having four tables. So these are the four tables which we have to import in our Fabric Lakehouse. Okay. So let me first of all show you all the tables. So let me write down the query. Select star from add events. Okay, so basically this one is our fact table. Okay, and it is basically used to analyze when and how users interact with the ads. Okay, so basically it is having event ID, ad ID, user ID, and a timestamp column, and it is also having a day of the week, time of the day, event type, whether it is like, share, impression, purchase. Okay, so now let me go back to the next table. Okay, so basically this one is the ads table and it defines basically which campaign ad belongs to. Okay, so it is having ad ID, campaign ID, ad platform, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, etc. Ad type, videos, stories, images. Okay, and target gender, whether it is reaching to female, all audience, or male. It is also having target age group, target interest, whether it is art, technology, travel, photography, etc. Okay, so now let me go to the other table. Okay, so basically this table provides the time frame and budget for the ads. Okay, you can see it is having a total budget column. So basically we are going to calculate the cost related KPIs with this table. Okay, we are going to bring the total budget from this table. Okay, now let me go to next table, that is users. Okay, so basically this users table stores the interest information of user who interact with the ads. Okay, and this table helps to analyze whether the ads are reaching to the right audience or not. So it is having the user gender, user ID, user gender, user age, age group, country, location, and interest. These type of information this table is holding. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to bring these table into our Fabric Lakehouse. So before loading our tables into Fabric Lakehouse, let me show you the BRD. So basically, okay, this one is our BRD. So I'm not going into detailed of this. let me go to the final outcome which we need. So these are the KPIs which we need: impression, clicks, shares, comments, purchases, in which you can see the formula is also written. Okay, so we are going to calculate, these are the KPIs, we have to put these in our card visual. Okay, now let me go to chart requirement. So the charts are just like donut chart, bar chart, target gender we have to perform in donut chart, and age group, target age group we have to show in the bar chart. Okay, so country map, calendar map, calendar month we have to show in calendar heat map. With the help of a matrix visual, we are going to create this calendar heat map chart. Okay, so now we are having weekly trend, stacked column by art type, hourly trend. We are going to use the area chart. It type we are going to use a matrix visual. Okay. So in detail we are going to go into these things. Okay. So first of all, let me load all these tables into. Okay, let me go to Fabric account. So here I have already created a workspace called as Meta Performance. Okay, here we are going to create a Lakehouse and a Dataflows Gen2. So first we are going to create a Dataflows Gen2. Let me name it as a Meta Performance Dataflow. Okay, our data flow has been created. Now let me go to now let me create a lake house. Meta performance lake house. Okay. So basically what we have to do, we have to import all the tables from Dataflows Gen2 to our lakehouse. Okay. Also we have to import one of the calendar table. So I'm basically having a M code. With the help of a M query, we are going to import the calendar table into our lakehouse. And in M query, we are going to modify something just like start date and the end date. So start date is basically the minimum of the event date, and the end date is basically the maximum of the event date. Okay, so event date we are having in our event at table, the fact table which we are having. Now let me open the data flows into, and here we have to get the data from SQL Server. So my server name is Priyam, and my database name is, let me copy from there, add performance. Here we are going to edit it, and we are going to use the Windows authentication. Let me give the username and the password. Okay, so these are all the tables which we have to import. Let me select one by one. Okay, let it load. Okay, so now this table has been loaded. Okay, so here we are having a timestamp column. With the help of this timestamp, we are going to create a calendar table. So we have to find out the start date and the end date. So we can also find the start date and date with the help of SQL Server. Okay, so by writing the queries, we can find out the max and min date. Here also we can find out by sorting it ascending or descending order. Okay, so first of all, let me give the destination to the lake house. Let me select our lake house. Here you can change the table name also. I'm going to keep the same name. Okay, now let me go to ads. So let me quickly give the destination to the lake house. Okay, so now we are going to add the calendar table also. So here we are going to get the data and from blank query. And let me open the M query which we are having. I will also provide this in description so that also you can also replicate the same. So this is our M code. Let me copy it. And here we have to paste it. So here we have to modify the start date and the end date. Okay, so this we are going to do afterwards. Let me select next. So now let me find out the start date and end date. So from add events we have to find out. Okay, this is our start date 2025 0507. Let me modify it. We find out the max of this. 2025 0806. Let me name it as a calendar date, calendar table. Okay, we have to give the destination to the lake house for this table also. So basically all the calculated columns we have to create here only, and all the measures we have to perform in our semantic model. So after creating this final outcome, okay, let me select the lake house. Okay, now let me publish this Dataflows Gen2. So let's wait until it publishes. So our data flow has been published successfully. Let me go to Lakehouse and see whether we got our tables or not. me refresh it from here. Okay, so these are all the 5 tables. Now we have to create a semantic model. Okay, so you can see we are getting the option of creating a new semantic model. Let me click on here, and here we are going to name it. Okay, here we have to select all the tables, and let me confirm it. Okay, so now we have to arrange all the tables. So add event is our fact table. Let me zoom out, and let me put it into the middle. Okay, so with the help of a calendar table, first let me create a relationship with the date column and event, day of the event. Where is the date column? Let me see. I think this one is a timestamp. We have to create with the help of a timestamp. One too many, and it is okay. Okay, now let me connect with user. So here we are having a user ID. So with the help of a user ID, we are going to connect this table. And for to the campaign, so we can see we are having a campaign ID, and here we don't have campaign ID. Let me see from which table, which ID we have to connect. Okay, so we don't have to connect with add events. We have to connect it with ads table. Okay, so basically ads is also a fact table. So we are having a campaign ID here also. Let me connect with this. Okay, and with the ads to ads event we are going to connect. So we are having a ad ID. Let me connect with this. Okay, so basically this one is not a star schema. We can say it is a snowflake schema because we are having a two fact tables. Okay, so now our semantic model has been created. All the measures we have to create here only. In this semantic model, we are going to create the new measure. Okay, and here we can create the parameters, we can add the new table. Okay, also we can perform a role level security. We are getting the option of creating the roles and manage the roles. Okay, so if new tables are adding up, so we are going to get those tables with the help of this edit table option. We are going to select the other table also. Okay, so many things you can do here. So let me import this semantic model in our Power BI. So let me open the Power BI. So once we are creating the charts and graphs, the required measures we are going to create when we are going to create the charts only. Okay, from Power BI semantic model. Okay, this one is our semantic model which we have created. Okay, you can see we got all our 4 tables, 5 tables, and the model which we have created. Let me fit to page. Okay, this one is our semantic model. Okay, so now we are going to create the charts and all. Okay, so now let me do some of the formatting for this canvas. Okay, so let me go to format and canvas setting. Let me choose it to custom. Okay, and the height we are going to take it as 900, and the width we are going to take it as 1570. Okay, and also we are going to choose some background color. Let me choose. Okay, let me give the hex code. So A0 D1 FF. Okay, this we are going to choose, and here you can see we are not getting any of the color. So because the transparency is 100%, so let me put it to 80%. Okay, okay, so now let me give the title of this dashboard. We are going to add one text box, and let me write down here meta add performance dashboard. Okay, let me select all, and we have to choose the font size as Calibri, and here we are going to take it as 32. Okay, let me put it somewhere here. Okay, and also we are going to turn off the background for this. And also we are going to add one of the image. So we are having some images, we are going to add them also. Let me add the meta image. Okay, this one. Okay, so now we have to add one of the shape here. We are going to create one placeholder so that we can put all our slicers and the filters as well as the buttons and bookmarks onto that placeholder. So let me create one of the shape that is rounded rectangle, and here we are going to take the height and width. Let me give the height and width for this. So the height will be 800 and the width will be 800, and the width we are going to take it as 260. Let me put it somewhere here, some more down. Okay, here it is fine. Okay, and also we are going to choose the rounded rectangle as 5%, and here we are going to choose some different color. Let me give the hex code for this. So it will be 0081FB. Okay, this one we are going to choose. Okay, so now we are going to add some of the KPIs. Okay, so let me go to BRD and see what are all the KPIs we have to create. So these are the KPIs, just like impression, clicks, shares, comments. So these are all the KPIs. So we don't have measures for this. So we have to create the calculations for this. Okay, so you can see impressions is nothing but a count of event type, where the event type is impression. Okay, so basically let me show you. Select start from add events. Okay, so event type, you can see it is like, share, impression. So here we are going to count. Okay, so here we are going to count the rows where the impression, where the event type is impression. Okay, so like this we are going to create all the measures. So just like shares, we are going to count the rows where the event type is share. Okay, so let me quickly create all the measures into our semantic model. So basically this one is our fact table. So here we are going to create all the measures. Let me create a new measure, and here we are going to first derive for to the impression is equal to calculate count rows, add events, and the filter is event type. Okay, this event type is equal to, and here we are going to put impression. So just just verify this word is proper or not. Let me see. Let me copy this one. It is very case sensitive, so we have to be very careful about the wordings. So it is basically case sensitive, so we have to be very careful about the words. Okay, this one is done. Now let me copy this one, and we have to create some more measures. Hello, hello. Okay, let me paste here the measure, and the next one will be the clicks. Okay, so let me write down clicks, and here event type will be click. Let me copy it from the SQL server, this one. So like this we are going to create all of these measures. The next one is shares. Not click, we are going to add here share. Let me see. Okay, this one is share. So the next one is comments. Okay, here we missed one of the comma, inverted comma. Now let me create the another one. Comments. Another one is purchases. Okay, the next one is engagements. So the engagement is nothing but clicks plus shares plus comment. Clicks plus share plus comments. The next one is CTR, click through rate. Okay, so it is basically we have to divide the clicks by impression and we have to multiply it by 100. CTR equal to, we are going to use divide function and clicks by impression. Clicks divided by impression, and if any of these is 0, then it will be 0, the alternate result. The next one is engagement rate. Equal to, and here we are having engagements divided by impression. Okay, divide we have to use impression, and the alternate result is 0. Conversion rate, let me create another one, is equal to purchase divide by clicks. Okay, and here is purchase rate. Purchase divide by impression. And the alternate result is 0. total budget, sum of total budget is equal to sum of total budget, and total budget is from campaigns. The next one is average budget per campaign. Per campaign is equal to average of total budget. Okay, so all these measures have been created. So now we have to refresh it from here. Okay, so now you can see we got all our measures here. Okay, so now let's create the cards. So first of all, let me add the card new. Okay, and here let me add the, okay, so here let me add the all the values which we have created, all the measures. So first one is impression, clicks and share. Impression, clicks, shares, comments, purchases, engagement. Comments, purchases, engagement. Okay, so first we are going to keep only six. Okay, after then we will add more. Let it load. For this, let me go to format, and here we have to turn off the background. So let me turn off the background first. Okay, and let me put the height and the width. So height will be 120 and the width we are going to take it as 1265. Okay, okay. So now let me go to visual. Okay, layout, and here we are going to select as 6. Okay, space between the cards we are going to take it as 15. Okay, and now let me go to call out values, and here we are going to select it as semi bold, and here it will be 25. Okay, let me go to label, and it will be 11. The color we are going to keep it as it is. Okay, now let me go to style and size. Where is the rounded rectangle? Okay, here we have to go to cards, and here we have to choose it as rounded rectangle. Okay, and rounded corner we are going to keep it as 15. Okay, now we have to give the color coding for each card. So let me go to cards again and select one by one. So first we are going to select the impression, and in impression we are going to set the color for this. Let me give the coding 54594 BC8. This we are going to use for impression. Now let me select the another one. For clicks we are going to use some different color, that is 7189FF. Okay, and for shares we are going to use some different color, that is 038DC8. Okay, and for comments we are going to select another color, that is 14B19D. And for purchases we are going to select another color, CD5395. And for engagement we are going to select some different color, that is 7449AD. Okay, and now here let me go to call out values. First label we have to select white, and the values we are going to select as white. Okay, so now it is looking somewhat fine. So now let me copy this one and paste it here. Okay, now let me change the other measures. So here, okay, we are left with other measures just like CTR, click through rate, and for clicks we are going to change it to engagement rate. Okay, so we have to give the color coding again. For shares we are going to add conversion rate, purchase rate, total budget, and average budget. Okay, now let me give the color for these. So the colors will be saved. These are all the colors. So this one is the first one. Okay, this one is the second. This one is the third. Fourth, and this one is the fifth one, and the last one is, I think, this one. Yeah, this one. Okay, so now you can see it is showing as 0.1 to 0.14. So we have to take the percentages of this. So let me go to semantic model and let me change it from here. CTR we have to take it as percentage, and in properties we are having the option of changing the data type to percentage, and here engagement rate we have to do in percentage, conversion rate we have to do in percentage, and purchase rate, this also we have to put in percentage. Okay, now here let me refresh here. Okay, now these are looking fine. So now here we are going to add some decimal places. It is showing as rounded off. So we are going to put as one decimal place. So let me go to semantic model and let me select the impression. Okay, here decimal places one, clicks, shares, comments, purchases, and engagement. Okay, now let me refresh here. Okay, so now we are done with our KPIs. Now let's move to another one. Okay, so now let's move to next. So now we have to create the charts. So our first chart is target gender. Okay, we have to use a donut chart, and also we have to create a parameter for this. So you can see it is written over here. A donut chart will visualize performance split by target gender from the ads table. Okay, the matrix displayed impression, clicks, purchases will change dynamically via parameter. Okay, so basically we have to create a parameter for this. So uh, as we have to create a parameter, let me go back to our semantic model, and here we are having an option of creating a new parameter. So we are going to create a new field parameter. So here we are going to name it as select dynamic measure. Okay, and here we have to add all the measures which we have created. So first one is impression, after then engagement rate, after then engagement, where is engagement, after then clicks, after then shares, comments, and purchases. Okay, let me create it. Okay, so it has created a new table. Okay, so we are going to use this as a dynamic field. So now let me go to Power BI and create a donut chart. So before creating a donut chart, first we have to create a placeholder for this. Let me create one of the shape. Shape will be rounded rectangle, and let me set the height and width for this. So the height will be 230 and the width will be 280. Okay, and the corner we are going to give as 8%, and the color we are going to set as white, and the border color we are going to set as gray. Okay, now let me select the donut chart. Now let me here place all the fields. Okay, so here in legends we are going to put the target gender. So the target gender is in ads, and in values we are going to set the measure which we have created, the parameter which we have created. Let me refresh here. Okay, this one is our parameter. Let me select this, not in detail, in values. Okay, so here we have to create one more thing. We have to create one slicer. Let me take a slicer, and here we are going to put select dynamic measure. Okay, and let me format it so it will be a single select. Let me put it as drop down and it will be single select. So you can see we have created this. Okay, so you can see it is changing. So now let me do some of the formatting for this also. Let me select the donut chart. Let me name it by Zender. Okay, let me go to format, and here we have to set the height and width. First of all, let me turn off the legend, and let me put the height as 220, and width we are going to take it as 265. Okay, background we are going to turn it off. Okay, let me go to slices, and spacing we are going to take it as 70%, and details we are going to put category and percentage of total. Okay, this one we are going to select, and in values we are going to select the black color. It will be semi bold. Okay, title also let me take the black color, and it should be bold, not bold. Let me change it to UI bold. Let me take it as 12. Okay, let me put it in the middle. Okay, so now this one is looking fine. Okay, so now let's move to next chart. So the next one is target age group bar chart. So a bar chart will show engagement across age groups defined in the ads table. Okay, so let me quickly create. First of all, let me copy this placeholder and put it over here. Okay, so here we are going to increase the width, and width will be 475. Okay, now here we are going to create one column chart, and in this column chart we are going to put, okay, let me see. Okay, onto the x-axis we are going to put the user age, and onto the y-axis we are going to put the dynamic measure. Okay, Okay, so here you can see there are many values. So let me filter it from here. Okay, so I'm going to filter on user age is less than 51. Okay, apply filter. So now you can see it is showing perfect. Now we have to do some formatting for this. So let me go and do some formatting. Okay, onto the x-axis we don't want title. Onto the y-axis also we don't want title. And grid lines, let me turn off for horizontal as well as vertical. Okay, and let me give the color of these values as black. Okay, and let me give the title of this. Okay, so the title will be semi bold and it will be 12, not 12, it will be 13 and bold. Let me see what is here. Okay, let me give some. Okay, here we have to change it by age. Now let me change from here. Yeah, so it is changing. Okay, so the bar colors also we need to change. Let me change the bar colors also. So let me give some purple color, this color. Okay, let me adjust it. Okay, now it is showing fine. Now let me copy the placeholder again and place it over here. Okay, so the next one, let me see what is the next. Okay, so a map visualization will display performance by country. Bubble size of the color intensity will represent the selected metrics. Okay, so now let me choose one of the map chart. Okay, so now let me choose one of the tree map as these maps are not enabled for me. Okay, so I'm going to use this tree map. So let me select the country onto the category and onto the values we are going to put the dynamic measure. Okay, now let me put it over here. Here let me do some of the formatting. Okay, background let me turn off, and onto the title let me choose the semi bold, and here it will be 12. Color will be black only. Okay, and legends, let me not legends. Okay, data labels we have to turn on. Okay, now this is looking somewhat fine. Okay, okay, so now let's move to next. So the next one is the calendar month, calendar heat map. A calendar heat map will plot performance on at the monthly level based on the timestamp field in add events. Darker shades will indicate higher activity, detect seasonal trends, peak and months, and low activity periods. Okay, let's create this. Let me copy the placeholder first. Let me increase some width. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to take one of the matrix chart. Let me take a matrix visual. Week of the year, this one. And onto the columns, we are going to put the day name. And onto the values, we are going to put the day, and it will be a sum. Okay, so here we have to modify this day names. It is coming the full day name. We need only the 3 letters. Okay, so for this we have to go to Dataflows Gen2 and we have to modify this calendar table. Let me open the data flow and let me go to calendar table. Let me go to advanced editor. Okay, here we are going to use 3D. Okay, so now let me click on OK. Okay, now you can see the day names are coming, the first 3 letters. Okay, now let me quickly publish it. Okay, let's wait until it publishes. So till then, let me go to our semantic model, and here we have to do some of the formatting. Just like day, we have to short it by day number. Let me select the day, and we have to short by column, day of the week. Okay, and month also we have to short it by, okay, month name we have to short by month. Okay, so now let's wait until this data flow publishes. Okay, it is refreshing. So let's wait. Okay, so now data flow has been published successfully. Now let me go to our semantic model and refresh it from here. Okay, it has been refreshed. Now let me go to Power BI and refresh it from here. Okay, so now you can see it is not showing correctly. Let me sort it by. Okay, so these are not sorted. So let me go back and sort these day names also. Day name sort by column day. Day name we have to sort it by day of the week. Let me refresh it from here. Okay, now you can see it is not showing fine. So now what we have to do, we have to do some of the formatting for this. So let me quickly go and okay. So let me go to format and first of all we have to turn off the column subtotals and row subtotals. Okay. Also we have to add one of the slicer for the month. Let me add one slicer. It will be by month, not month, month name. Okay, yeah. So let me format this one also. It will be drop down and single select. Okay, so this we have to do some of the formatting for this also. This slicer should not interact to all of the charts. It should interact only to this chart. Okay. So now let me select this one and go to format, edit interaction. Let me turn off one by one for all these. Okay. So the other charts which we will be creating, so we have to turn them off also. Okay, so here we don't need this week of the year. Let me give some space and hit enter. Okay, and now again we have to do some more formatting for this. Okay, so let me select this one. And here let me go to format, and what we have to do first, let me go to grid, and we have to turn on the grid lines. Let me give it as white. Okay, one is fine. Alternate text, let me give as white, not white. Okay, let me undo it. Okay, now let me go to values, and here we have to select, let me select semi bold, and the font size should be 10. Okay, it is fine. Okay, in values, let me give the alternate background as white. Okay, so let me give some gray border. Let me go to cell elements. Background color, let me turn on. Okay, let me go to effects. Okay, so now you can see it is now working. So what I have done, some modification, let me show you what I have done. So basically in calendar table we were having a date column, okay, and in add events it is connected with the timestamp column. Okay, so basically it was a timestamp column, not a day column, not a date column. So that is why it is not working. So I created one event date, in which I have duplicated the same column, and I've changed the data type to date. Okay, so and after then I have created a relationship with the event date. So now you can see it is working now. Now let me do some more formatting for this. Okay, so let me go to values, and not values, let me go to row headers, and here let me turn off this. Okay, and text color, let me choose as white. Okay, now you can see it is now working. Okay, now somewhat it is looking fine. Okay, let me go to grid lines and reduce the width, and here also let me reduce the width. Okay, let me give the border of this. Okay, so you can also do some of the formatting for this. So here, let me put it here in the middle. Okay, and we have to put the title also. So for the title, okay, we have to create one of the card chart. Let me create one of the card visual. So here we have to create one more measure for it. Okay, let me go to add events and let me create one new measure. Okay, so here we can manually write. Okay, not needed this one. Let me select this text box and title. Let me turn on. Here we can write down NALY analysis by month. Okay, and here we can put the title. Where is the title? Let me select CGUI bold, not bold, it will be semi bold. Okay, and it will be 12. Okay, now it is looking fine. Okay, so now let's move to next. So, okay, so now let's move to next. So the next chart is, let me go to, okay, okay, so the next chart is weekly trend, stacked column chart by ad type. So a stacked column chart will display weekly performance trend. X-axis week number and stacks different ad types and y-axis select metrics. Okay. So let me copy the placeholder first. Okay, let me put the height and width for this placeholder. So height I'm going to put it as 365 and width I'm going to take it as 450. Okay, let me move it to here. Okay, so now we have to take one stacked column chart. Let me take this, and onto the x-axis we have to put the week number. Okay, this day of the week, and onto the y-axis we are going to put the dynamic measure. Okay, now let me format it. So let me go to format and not here in the format. Okay, So x-axis, let me go to x-axis, and title we don't want. Onto the y-axis also we don't want the title. Okay, and let me turn off the grid lines. We don't want the horizontal as well as vertical grid lines. Okay, now let me go to values. Background, let me turn off. Okay, okay, I think 9 is fine. Okay, now let me go to column, and here layout, and space we are going to put it as 35%. Okay, and also we are going to put, let me go to build. Onto the legend we are going to put the add type. Okay, so here we have to change some color. Okay, now let me go to colors. Where are the column? Okay, so the first one is for video. Let me change the color for video. We are going to take this color, not this, some darker color, this one. And for stories we are going to take some different color, that is this one. Okay, now it is looking fine. And here we are going to turn off the legend. So now this one is looking fine. Okay, okay, now here we are going to change the title. So the title will be weekly impression trend. Okay, okay, now this one is looking perfect. Okay, so now let's move to next. Okay, hourly trend chart, area chart we have to create. Onto the x-axis we have to put the hour of the days. Okay, and that will be from 0 to 23. And onto the y-axis we have to select our dynamic measure. Okay, so let's create a area chart, and here onto the x-axis we have to put the hours, but we don't have hours, so we have to go to our Dataflows Gen2 and we have to add one of the column that is called as hour. So it will be derived from this column. We have to extract the time, and from to the time we are going to derive the hour column. Let me take the custom column. Okay, here we are going to add time dot hour and the timestamp. Let me name it as hour, and data type will be whole number. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so you can see we got our column. Now let me go to settings and we have to save this. So whenever you are creating any calculated column, you have to go to the data destination and save that column. Otherwise, it will not appear. Okay, so here we got our column. Let me save it. Okay, now let me publish it. So let's wait until it publishes. Okay, so now data flow has been published successfully. Now let me go to our semantic model and refresh it. Okay, so here we are going to refresh it. Now let me go to Power BI and refresh it from here. Okay, so on to the x-axis we are going to take the hour from to the calendar table, not from to the calendar table, from to the add events we are going to take the hour. Okay, this one is the hour. And onto the y-axis we are going to select the dynamic measure. Okay, now we are going to format it. Okay, so first of all we have to turn off the background, and we don't want the grid lines horizontal as well as vertical. Also we don't want the title, and onto the y-axis also let me turn off the title. Okay, and onto the x-axis let me take this as categorical, categorical, and let me short it by hour. Ascending. Okay, let me take it continuous only. Okay, minimum let me take it as 0 and maximum let me take it as 23. Okay, and onto the y-axis let me turn off the values also. Okay, now let me go to markers and turn it on. Let me take the size of the marker to be 3, not 3, 4, and the color let me take it as this one. Okay, lines let me take it interpolation, let me take it as smooth. Now let me give the title. So the title will be hourly trend. Here it will be weekly trend. Okay, so this one is done. Now let's move to next one. So the last one is add type by matrix. Okay, a matrix visualization will show the selected metrics across ad types and possibly break down further by platform. Rows, ad types, column, platform, or other campaign dimension. Value select metrics. Okay, so here let me put one of the placeholder. Let me copy from here. Okay, and here we are going to put the matrix visual, and inside it we are going to use onto the rows we are going to take the ad type, onto the columns we are going to, okay, onto the values we have to put the measures which we have created, just like impression, clicks, where is the clicks, okay, CTR, purchase rate, conversion rate, engagement rate, and conversion rate. Okay, these things we have to put. Now let me do some formatting for it. Add type. Okay, here let me shorten the name. Let me give as IMPR, and for clicks let me give CLK, and for purchase rate let me give PR. For engagement rate let me give ER, and for conversion rate let me give CR. Okay, now let me do some formatting for this. Okay, now let me do some formatting. So first of all let me go to grid lines, and let me, okay, grid lines we don't want, so the border, let me give it as white. Okay, okay, column totals and row subtotals, let me turn off. Let me go to row headers, and here let me turn off this one. Onto the values, alternate background, let me take it as white. Okay, column headers, let me take it as some bold, semi bold. Okay, so now we have to go to specific column, and IMPR display units we are going to take it as thousands, and CLK also we have to take it as thousands. Okay, now let me give some spacing. Okay, so now let me put everything in the middle. Let me select IMPR in the middle. Okay, so now let me turn on the background color for each one. Let me go to cell elements. Let me select IMPR, and let me turn this on. Okay, add a middle color, not a middle color. For this, we are going to select only this one. Let me select the another one. For this we are going to select some different color. Let me take this one, and okay, so like this we are going to select all the colors. You can take any of the color whatever you want. Let me take this yellow color, and here we are going to take it as this one. Let me take some this color. Okay, so like this you can take any of the colors. The last color, let me take something different. Okay, so now this one is done. Okay, so now let me add some more slicers here. Okay, let me put it here, and let me add two more slicers. Let me copy this one. and we have to show by campaign name. Not this one. Okay, this one is the name. This will not be a single select. Let me enable multi select. Okay, and here let me select all, enable the select all option, and also here let me enable the search option. Let me name it as a campaign name. Okay, now again let me copy this one and paste it over here. Let me add another one, that is target interest. Let me name it properly. Okay, let me put it more down. Let me provide the spacing. Okay, now it is fine. Okay, now let me add some images for it. Let me go to insert and image. Okay, this one let me add it. Not this one, it is not looking fine. Let me add some more. Okay, let me change the color of this. Okay, here we cannot change the color. Let me insert another one. Okay, this one we have to use, but it is not coming correct. Hmm. Let me see what we can do. Okay, background we can turn. Okay, nothing is happening. Okay, let me remove this one. Okay, so basically we have to add the images here. Okay, so you can download some of the images in white background and you can insert here. Okay, so now one thing more we have to do. So overall it is showing for to the Facebook and Instagram. Okay, now we have to So filter it by, okay, so let me go to build platform. Okay, add platform. Okay, so I'm going to use filter on this page, and this one we are going to use for Facebook. Okay, now let me duplicate it, and here we are going to name it as Facebook, and this one will be for Instagram. Let me change it to Instagram. Okay, and now we are going to add the buttons. Okay, so let me go to navigator and page navigator. So it has created this button. Let me move it to here. Okay, let me do formatting. Okay, vertical we need. Okay, so here you can see once we are clicking on Instagram, we will be redirected to another page, and here also we have to add it. So let me copy this one and paste it over here. Okay, so you can see already it has highlighted. So we have selected this Instagram page, so it has been selected Instagram only. Okay. Okay, so now we have to publish this into our workspace. Let me go to publish, save it, and here let me go to meta ad and select here. Okay, this has been published. Now let me go to, now let me open. Okay, so here is our workspace. Now here let me click on new item and data pipeline. We are going to create, let me name it as a meta ad pipeline. So here we are going to add the data flow. Let me select our data flow, meta ad. This one is our data flow, and now let me add the semantic model also. This one is our semantic model. Let me pass it to semantic model, and here we are going to select our semantic model. This one is our model. Let me select all the tables. It is loading. Okay, let me select all the tables. Now let me go to home and schedule it. Add a schedule. We need daily and the time will be okay, and the start date will be today's date, and in date you can take any of the future date. Let me take it this one. Okay, daily at 12 a.m. Okay, daily we need at 8 p.m. Okay, okay, so we have scheduled our data pipeline. Let me save it. Okay, the changes are saved. Now every day at 8 p.m. it will refresh the data flows and the semantic model. So we'll get the most up-to-date data in our Power BI report. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.